Welcome everyone to my week 2 power rankings of the GBA. Excuse me if I sound a little tired, it's because I am. I'm up late trying to finish this. I'll talk more about my time issues later though. For now, I have a few small updates before we get into the rankings this week. So I know that the audio quality of these videos is pretty poor, and so I'm planning on getting a headset. It's a pretty cheap one, so I really hope it'll be alright. I tried to find a balance between cheap and useful, since I just don't really have the money right now. Another update is that I've joined a GBA type league called the National Trainer Association, or NTA. My team is the North Carolina Tyrannus Tar Heels. I'll be recording any of those battles that I'm able to. Some of them may have to be on Wi-Fi. I don't have a capture card, so I probably won't record those. The draft isn't until the end of this month, so it'll be a while before those videos begin. Another thing is that I have a chance to be featured on Around the Right Horn for the GBA channel. I'm super excited, yet nervous at the same time about this actually happening. Basically, I'm just on a list of replacements if someone can't make it, but I'm anxious nonetheless. A huge thank you to Adam and Danza who got me on there in the first place. And last update, I got no comments on my last video about Pokemon Reborn, at least that I saw. So I've decided that I'm just going to do it and hope it gets views. You know, if I want to do something and I enjoy it, then I should do it, you know? But I'm going to wait until I get my headset before I start those. But power rankings will remain even if I never get a mic. Just like, otherwise the GBA would just continue without me. Okay, now on to the power rankings. Number 12, the Long Island Red Rockies. They put up a good fight against Mulvone, but as one of the few teams that was not majorly hacked and still lost, I feel like they're deserving of this spot, at least for now. Although they did get critted by a Weavile Ice Shard on Rose Raid, and that could have mattered, it still would have been a roll. Also, they got 2 10% burn chances in their favor, one of which kept Gliscor from getting its Toxic Orb off, so the hacks kind of evened out. And that's why I say he wasn't hacked majorly, because I know some people might disagree with me on that. Anyways, Agility Mega Altaria could have been really good, but when the coach completely forgets about Weavile and Ice Shard, it's just not going to sweep. I like the team, but I think the coach needs to play better. I'm sorry if this is harsh, but I think it's true. This is the second week out of 2 that I've had a problem with his plays and or sets. He just needs to learn about the term that was featured on Around the Right Horn, safely innovative. As you can see, I kept my word and did a weekly and seasonal spreadsheet for each team. This might not be something that I continue doing. I have exams coming up and I'm working with my NTA friends on the league. I'm spending time talking with my new friends in the Around the Right Horn crew, and I have to be ready at a moment's notice for that. I have 2 school projects, and just with all this stuff going on, my free time is going down the drain here. It's enjoyable though. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I really love everything I'm doing, like, besides the school stuff, I mean. Like, I don't care that I'm doing these power rankings and this Around the Right Horn stuff and this NTA stuff, because it's all super exciting for me. Like, I really love it all, and I don't care that it's taking up a lot of time, but I just don't know how much of it I'll be able to continue doing, basically, with exams and school projects coming up. I just don't want to put too much on myself until I have the time, so this type of spreadsheet may or may not continue. Now that that's out of the way, you can see Quagsire and Mega Altaria are the only pokes that got kills this week on Nips's team. Mega Altaria has got half of the kills this season. That's not as impressive as it sounds, because that's only 2. None of Nips's pokes have positive differential right now either. And at -8 differential, this team is tied for last in the league. Although I saw on the website it said -6, so I may have made a mistake in there somewhere, In the future, I could maybe get some official stats from like Danza or something like that. I don't know. Or I could have a friend from the MTA check my spreadsheets over once I finish. I don't know. The link for my spreadsheet should be down in the description as long as I remember. If you want to look at it yourself, it's a little more detailed than it is on here because it has notes that say like which Pokemon killed which and which Pokemon died to which and stuff like that. And if you like stats like I do, it's definitely worth taking a look at. Number 11, the Milwaukee Sawsbucks. As the other team that did not get hacks and still lost, Steve has fallen far from his original position at number 3. Admittedly, Mega Pinsir is an easy poke to get swept by, but it just happened so quickly. Hank didn't really have to weaken Steve's team at all, which makes me think Steve was underprepared for the biggest threat on Hank's team. Trying to rely on Intimidate when Pinsir has Hyper Cutter tells me he didn't look hard enough at the threat that was staring him in the face when he was preparing. Landorus was the only poke to get a kill this week for Steve, and it and Mega Gardevoir are the only two Pokemon that do not have a negative differential for the season out of the ones he has brought so far. Number 10, the Detroit Steel Wings. They beat Cooper by hacks, but they got a win. Beating Cooper even with hacks is a difficult thing to do. Although because of the hacks, I'm not moving them up very far, as you can tell. As you can see, Jolteon and Chandelure are the MVPs of this team. Jolteon not only netting 2 kills, but also getting that game-changing 10% para on Megazord X. After that, Chandelure is able to come in and clean up, getting 3 kills and putting itself in the running for the MVP race, as we'll see later. Number 9, the San Francisco Giants. I still really like Geo. Despite being the lowest team in the league by differential, or possibly tied with Nips, I'm not sure, his team building has been on point. His losses have only been against really skilled opponents who are both one of the 4 teams left in the league that are 2-0. Also, after that DC in his game with Miguel got a higher roll, giving Megalophony a higher chance to kill Goodra, which it did. I'd like to see how that game would have played out if Goodra had lived, but the end result would probably have been the same. This upcoming week, I'm making a bold prediction that Geo will get his first win and give A-Drive his first loss, which oddly enough, Adam and Reichman said the same thing, so I'm hoping we're all correct. Mesprit is the only Pokemon that got a kill this week. I'm hoping to see the differential of mini pokes and the overall differential of the team increase in the upcoming weeks. Number 8, the Pittsburgh Pirates. The reason Tup is moving so much isn't because he won, since he kinda should've lost. It's because he proved himself by going toe-to-toe with John, hacks or no hacks. Despite his 2 losses, John is a challenging opponent, and being able to have a game close enough where hacks can decide it is a testament to Tup's skill in my opinion. I really loved Magnastorm Heatran. You can tell that Tup takes the league seriously, and I'm rooting for him so Miguel drinks that coffee. Heatran and Salamence put in a lot of work this week, although Mince was only because of hacks. Tup, you still gotta prove that Rotom to me though. I'd also love to see Cacturne and Slowking in a battle soon as well. I want to get rid of that triple row of zeros. Number 7, the New Orleans Pelicans. John has a great team and is a great player, so I keep stubbornly trying to keep him high on this list. John has the highest differential that you possibly can have at 0-2, going -1 in both battles. Just the inverse of what I said at the top, John isn't falling because he lost, he's falling because the other guys come and play. He's falling because other guys come and play their hearts out, and I feel like they deserve to be ahead of him until John starts winning again, and I expect him to. 2 guys that I had towards the bottom of these rankings to start out are now 2 of the 4 undefeated teams in this league. John just needs to prove to me that he won't let this losing streak keep him down, and he can go out there and get a win, and I'm sure he will. Then he can start climbing this ladder again. So as you can see on the spreadsheet, Inte now has a negative differential. John, fix this or I hate you forever. Remember, I have your mom, Danza, on Skype, living your streams, by the way. Number 6, St. Louis Rampardos. I'll admit, I've been kind of hard on A-Drive in the past few weeks. Even though his match was the haxiest of this week, I feel like I just haven't been giving him enough credit. He's been playing and preparing very well this season. I think he deserves this position, but I am expecting him to fall to GA this week. We'll just have to see. A-Drive has 3 pokes at +2 differential, and all of them are walls. And Terrakion has not been brought once. Number 5, the Cincinnati Loudreds. Slowly climbing these rankings. I'm liking the Loudreds more and more as the season goes on. They're playing great by going standard with a touch of variety. You could even say, safely innovative. And I want you to think about this for a second. Both matches had Gliscor in them. Both matches, Gliscor was status, so it couldn't Toxic Heal, which basically left it as dead weight, meaning that in a way, it was 5-6 in favor of the opposing teams in terms of usable pokes, yet Mulvane still came through and won both those battles. I still find it crazy that Keldeo has a -2 differential and Weavile's at +6. I know Weavile's good, but I didn't expect it to be this good. It's basically kept kills from everything else on the team if you look at the differential. The only other poke that has a positive differential is Fortress. That's from week 1. Number 4, the New York Yankees. Shady lost, but he brought amazing sets that worked really well. This shows that time and effort are being put into his preparation, and this means that the infamous Shady problem of seasons past seems to be gone. That Psych Up Milotic was legendary. Maybe if he had just waited one more turn for Calm Mind, things could have been different, but there's no way to know how much your opponent is going to want to set up, so I don't really blame him. But it is also possible that he got a little too eager to show off and make use of his cool and unique set, but I kind of doubt it since he had the patience to wait for, I think it was 3 Calm Minds he waited for. So another great set he brought was Foresight Conkeldurr to take down that disgusting wall core. It unfortunately went down to a crit that really took away all of Shady's momentum and confidence. Although the crit was haxy, it is still kind of Shady's fault for leaving it in the first place. It all could have been avoided if he had just switched to Milotic. But overall, Shady is playing better than he ever has, in my opinion, and he has so much more enthusiasm and energy than he did in Season 3, and I really hope this continues. I'm really liking it. The main thing that I noticed on this spreadsheet is Milotic. It's a wall, yet it has 5 kills, but there's 2 deaths that are really holding it back, differential-wise. It is the only poke in the MVP race that has died both weeks. Number 3, the Utah Jasmine. Cooper lost to Hax, therefore he's not moving down in the rankings. I know Cooper likes number 3, but I'm not keeping him here just to get on his good side. He deserved a Mega Charizard sweep, and I think that would have given him a 5-0. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. The analysts are saying that Cooper has lost his groove, but I'm going to have to see a little more before I believe that. I think he still got it. The only thing that can make me think otherwise is that he never went for Head Smash once. Will he still be able to meet his quota? AGG Ron got those 2 kills, albeit without Head Smash. Also, that Iron Head flinch is not haxed because the boss god can control the hacks. AGG Ron decided that he wanted to flinch on that turn, therefore he got it. Whenever he doesn't get a flinch, it's because he didn't want it. Number 2, the Winnipeg Aqua Jets. Once again, the Aqua Jets are at number 2, but still are slowly catching that number 1 position. Since Hank didn't have any hacks in his battle and won decisively, I think he did better than Miguel did this week. If Hank can get a win against Cooper, it's hard to not see him moving to number 1 unless something crazy happens. Mega Pincer is such a threat in this format. 7 kills, no deaths. That is insane. This is why you always need a good check for it in this format. I already know what I'm trying to get for the NTA. I can't reveal that just yet in case any of them watch this video. I don't want them to snipe me. Number 1, the Real Morel. Just like last week, there's not much to say here. Miguel won and he played really well. I'd like to know how the match would have played out if Gudra had lived, but I'm confident that Miguel would have won anyways. I just think he didn't play as well as Hank. I think next week we could definitely see a change in number 1 spot, even if Miguel does win. A win against Cooper means a lot more than a win against Tup. No offense, Tup. If Hank can get that win, we might just see the spot change hands. The spreadsheet shows my man Victini getting 4 kills, against a rain team nonetheless. I used Victini a lot back in 5th Gen UU, definitely one of my favorite Pokemon and a solid first draft choice by Miguel. Now onto this week's MVP race. Sitting high and mighty with that full team sweep is Mega Pincer. Next we have Victini and Weavile getting 4 kills apiece. Chandelure and Salamence are at number 3 with their Haxie 3 kills each. Rotom and Milotic are just off the podium with a +2 differential. And here's the spreadsheet. Milotic is the only one on there with a death. And now for the full season MVP race. Mega Pincer and Weavile, not changing positions from the weekly MVP race, nor is Milotic actually. There's a 3-way tie for 3rd. I don't know what's up with all the 3s today. In the weekly MVP race, the Pokemon in 3rd all had 3 kills and a +3 differential. Now in the seasonal, there are 3 pokes, but they have 4 kills. Salamence and Shandy fall a spot because the seasonal race is a little tougher than the weekly one. And here's the spreadsheet to finish the video off. Hopefully as the season progresses, the kills for 1 week won't impact the MVP race so much, and we can see a little bit more variety between the two. Mega Pincer, Victini, Chandelure, and Salamence are here solely from their kills this week. Anyways, that's all for now. I really hope you enjoyed. But before I go, I just want to give big thank yous to everyone who helped me get an opportunity this week, whether it be through the NTA or around the Rhyhorn. Thank you to Danza and Adam for helping me get on there to begin with. And thanks to everyone else in around the Rhyhorn group. I've really just been enjoying chatting with you guys. Lastly, thank you to Spartan or Tyler who organized the NTA through Quilky Amino, and to everyone else in that group. I'm also having a blast chatting with you guys every day as well. Once again, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week for next week's Power Rankings.